Welcome to today's webinar, everyone, for the Monetize Your Passion Society. I'm Crystal, the creator of Monetize Your Passion Society and a repurposing and visibility strategist, helping overwhelmed entrepreneurs expand their visibility through content repurposing strategies so they can reach a wider audience, grow their impact, and fast track those big results. And I do this by handling social media, email marketing, web design, content creation, and all that fun stuff. So Monetize Your Passion Society is a community for women entrepreneurs ready to monetize their passions and build a network of referrals with women from all industries. This group is part of the greater Rochester, New York area. However, we do have members from all over the world, and that's why we host virtual events like these. So we host anything from virtual webinars, coffee chats, co-working sessions, and we also have a monthly happy hour. So if you're here today and you haven't joined the free community yet, please do so by visiting crystalstatsky.com/monetize your passion society, and you can join us for free. And without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker, Shavavian Allister. Shavavian is the proud owner and founder of Allister Virtual Assistant Services. She schedules, organizes, and handles punctuality and details, and that's what she does best. So Shavavian provides Dubsado setup and systems maintenance to female business owners and creative entrepreneurs to transform your business into a machine of efficiency. And I mean, that's all what we all need in our businesses, am I right? So she's going to sit with us today to discuss imposter syndrome, what it is, how to overcome it, and all that good stuff. So Shavavian, I'm going to go ahead and let you take the floor.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have a PowerPoint today and it's nothing intense. It's literally just to keep my mind on track.
I love how prepared you are. I love this.
Yeah, I used to teach at the college level, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but just having to be on top of everything because they do not let you do not let you rest.
Right.
Okay, so today we're talking about imposter syndrome. You are not an imposter. You are supposed to be here. We're going to be going through a couple of different exercises, my story, and things that I use or you can use to overcome imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is something that the majority of people go through. When it first came about, researchers thought that it was just for high achieving females. But as time went on, they realized that it's something that impacts people across the board. You don't even have to be, you don't have to be just a high achieving female. So the Oxford Languages Dictionary defines it as a persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own skills or efforts. So people are thinking that maybe they were in the right place at the right time, or they were in contact with the right person. They're kind of feeling like this opportunity that they've been given is not intrinsic to them, didn't necessarily have anything to do with their effort or ability, because they often think that anybody can do this. Like, I'm not special. What I'm able to do is not special. So I don't know why, they kind of want to, or they want to give me accolades or opportunities for something that anybody can do. They may also have feelings of fear of being exposed as a fraud, because again, they're thinking that I'm just a regular human being like everybody else. Like, I have to put my pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. The things that I'm able to do, anybody could do with a little bit of effort and skill. So that's kind of where it stems from inside of our mind. And then, of course, as we all know, you can kind of spiral from there. Okay, so
I love that example that you used of putting your pants on. Everybody does it.
Yeah, just it's a regular, I'm a regular person. So we're gonna do a quick exercise. I'm gonna start this timer for 2 minutes, and I want you to grab a pen and paper, or just open up a sticky note on your computer, and you're just gonna write down all the questions and thoughts that come up that make you feel like an imposter. So, you don't have to worry about it being pretty. We would love for you to share after the exercise, but it's not a requirement. Some things may be a little bit more vulnerable than others, but just write down everything that comes to mind when you think about your own struggle with imposter syndrome. Okay, that was about 2 minutes. You should have gotten some good questions out. If you are able, go ahead and write some of the questions that came up in the chat if you would like to share. Crystal, do you have any of the questions that came up for you that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yeah, so I came up with a couple. So, and these are really hard to think of. So I think I wrote a couple, they're more like statements. So I feel like I should be further along compared to others that I see in my industry. And I have a lot of big dreams and goals, especially when it comes to travel, for example. Like I have so many countries I want to go to. I'm scared I'm not going to be able to get to them before I die. And then the third one is I sometimes fight the urge to actually do things rather than giving into my subconscious that's telling me that it might not work out or go as planned. So like when I'm coming up with a new offer or a new marketing strategy or something, there's always something in the back of my mind that's like telling me, don't even try, and because I feel like it's not going to work out the way that I think it's going to. So I really have to fight myself to make that happen.
Yeah, and sometimes that's really hard to do because it's easier to just be like, well, it wasn't going to work anyway, so I might as well not do it.
Exactly. And I think that also deals with just like laziness, I guess. I'm a very proactive person, but there's always, sometimes depending on what it is, I'm like, I'll get to it tomorrow or something, or it's not that important. Like those are just things that I'm telling myself, and then, just keeps getting pushed back further and further. So
and then it just keeps spiraling. Yeah, going back to your first statement with comparison, and like it's almost impossible not to do with the way that we live our life on social media. Like you see people doing the exact same thing that you're doing, but instead of being rational and thinking, well, they've been doing this for 2, 3, 4 years and you just started last week. Our brain is immediately like, no, you're a failure, you suck. It's just like we don't have any in between that we don't have to go straight off the cliff. We can actually think about why they are where they are and why you are where you are and be rational about it. But our mind likes to fight against us for whatever reason.
Yes, and this was actually the webinar that I did with Felly Day on Tuesday. This is actually very similar to what we talked about. We talked about comparisons and how you shouldn't compare yourself to others that are in your industry, and you also shouldn't be copying the offers that they're giving because they aren't going to resonate with who you really are
Right.
deep inside. Like, it's not going to resonate with your business. So this really goes hand in hand with that very well.
Right. That's a really good point. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, and I think we've all done that from time to time, like when we're looking at others in our industries and we're like, oh my gosh, she has this amazing offer. I know I've done it. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to try and, recreate that. And then you
Right.
get so far and you're like, first of all, it's not selling. Second of all, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And third, it's like, it just doesn't resonate with what you're actually trying to do.
What you want to do,
Yeah.
and with your target audience. Yeah, it's different for everybody. And you could be doing the exact same thing, but it's still going to look different for you, which is actually what we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. But my story, my first bout of imposter syndrome actually came when I was approached to teach at the collegiate level. So back up, I actually have a master's degree in forensic psychology, but I didn't go into it necessarily wanting to get that degree. I went into it because I couldn't afford to pay my student loans. So I knew if I went back to school, I wouldn't have to pay them. And so I had a job at the time. I was working in my field. It wasn't something that I loved, and I wasn't making enough money to live and pay bills, or not pay bills, to live and pay student loans. So I was like, well, I'm gonna do one or the other, and it's gonna be live. So she called me about the program, and she's going through some of the options that they have at the school. And she was like, what do you think about forensic psychology? It's like, that sounds interesting. And she signed me up, and then I went through the 2-year master's program and graduated. So don't do that. But I had quit that job that I was at because I really just didn't like it. The commute was long. It just wasn't my thing. And so I wasn't working in the field at all. And so the chair of the department of my alma mater actually came up to me during prayer meeting one evening, and he was like, I have a psychology in the law class. If you want to teach it, it's yours. I was like, what? You want me to do what? So immediately I'm like, I don't know anything about teaching. I went to school for psychology. What are you talking about? And so the way that it happened, he literally handed me the class. He gave me the PowerPoints. He gave me the tests. He gave me the quizzes. He gave me the assignments. If I wanted to do more, I could have, and I did, because I tend to like more hands-on interactive activities, mainly because it takes the focus off of me. But he gave me everything that I needed to teach the class. I just had to show up. I literally just had to walk into the classroom and teach the information. And so the imposter syndrome came about because, yes, I've gone through school. I have these 2 degrees. I'm not even currently using them. And then an opportunity literally falls into my lap. And now I'm doubting myself. Make it make sense. So my questions that arose when I was thinking about how am I going to teach this class was just like, what if they ask me a question about something and I can't answer? What if they just ask me a question, like, at all? Like, I was truly afraid that they would find out that I didn't know what I was doing, because that's how I truly felt. Even though I had the degrees to back it up, I had this person who was actually a doctorate in the field, and he felt I was qualified enough to teach the class, and yet I don't believe it myself. So what was I doing to myself to sabotage this opportunity that came to me? So how we push back against that is, there's 3 ways. Remember your victories, stop fighting your feelings, question your thoughts. So, and these are all things that I need to practice more often, but I have put them into practice. So the first thing that you want to do is remember your victories. I remember one year, and I am a Christian, and I do pray. There was one year that I took every prayer request that I had, wrote it out, and put it in a bucket. And every single time I got an answer, I would write that out, write the date, and put it in another bucket. And so when I was feeling times of doubt or frustration or feeling like I was not hearing me, all I had to do was go back to this answered prayer request bucket and see, oh, okay, so he is up there. He is up there listening to me. He is, my prayer requests are being answered. Another thing that I like to do is write it down. So we are strong powerhouse women in different industries online. It is not easy to start a business. It is not easy to run a business, but it is something that we're doing, and it's something that we are doing well. So something that will help you remember where you've come from, or remember that the work that you've done, is writing down your victories every single time that they happen. So when you're presented with an opportunity, or when someone that you may have thought was out of your league wants to work with you, all you have to do is go back to your notebook and look at, wow, I did X, Y, and Z. That makes me beyond qualified to do this for this person. Or I'm able to facilitate these types of things, or I'm able to, what am I trying to say? I'm able to, oh, I've done this work. I have this background. I have this experience. I know that I've put in this work. I know I've put in the late nights. I know that I've woken up early to do certain tasks before the deadline. I know the work that I've put in, but because our brain tends to fight against us, we forget all of that. We focus on the failures. We focus on when we did miss the deadline. We focus on that person that didn't want to work with us, instead of all the people that did want to work with you and all the times that you did win. So you write them down, you put them in the notebook, because it's very easy to just forget how successful you've actually been. So whenever you're kind of getting into a spiral, all you have to do is open up your notebook and be like, oh, wow, I did that. I really did. Like, that's me. I'm the bomb. Okay. Like, I deserve this. I more than deserve this. This is not a fluke. There's not enough luck in the world. You can't be in the right place at the right time all the time. Some of that has to be intrinsic to you.
That's a good point.
Did you want to add something?
No, I was just like, wow, that is a really good point. I've never heard someone explain it like that, where, you know, you can't be lucky all the time. Like, you're actually putting in the work to make that shit happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the next thing is to stop fighting your feelings. I'm going to say this. Your feelings are valid. Feelings are not facts. Your feelings are valid. Feelings are not facts. Think about if you ran your business based on how you felt all the time. Oh, Tuesday, I'm feeling down on myself. I'm not good enough, so I'm not going to do anything. Where is that going to get you? If you do, even if you just do that once a week, every week, and then you do nothing to push your business forward every Tuesday because you're down on yourself, how is that helping you in your journey? Yeah. So you're allowed to have those feelings. Those feelings are normal. Everybody has them. Everybody goes through them. You are not alone in feeling like that, but you can't allow your feelings to dictate how you run your business. You can't allow your feelings to dictate how you're going to move forward in your journey. Because another thing, feelings pass. You are not going to feel that way tomorrow, more than likely, unless you have some other stuff going on. But if you think about, or not think about, if you focus on just how you feel and allow that to push you forward in your business, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to go as far as you want to. So you need to sit in your feelings, acknowledge them for what they are, and then forge ahead anyway. You can write it down. Something that helps me when I'm kind of spiraling is to write it all out. And then it kind of feels like a weight is lifted off of me and I can move on. I just needed to get that out. This is the way I feel. It doesn't really make sense. I know it doesn't align with my experience or background, but I'm acknowledging them for what they are, and I'm gonna let them go and move on and move forward. So feel your feelings, acknowledge them for what they are real, but they're not facts, and you cannot allow them to dictate your decisions in your business. The last thing is to question your thoughts. And this goes hand in hand with the other two. So something that I like to do is brain dumping. And I actually learned this in my coaching program. She's literally like, everything that you're feeling, everything that you're thinking, everything that is making you spiral, write it down. Just write everything that comes to mind. Don't try to, I know that especially I write sometimes and I try to like edit as I'm going along. Don't edit it as you're going. Just write it out as is, and then get out your celebration journal and back it up with a fact. Look, this is what I did. Yes, I'm having this thought right now, but does that equate to what I've already done? Is that true? Ask yourself that question. Is this thought that is trying to consume me true about myself? Is it true about the work that I've done? More than likely, the answer is no. It's not true. But again, our brain likes to hold us back and push us down, so we focus on the negative instead of the positive and the facts. Focus on what is true, what is ahead of you, what experience you have, what time you've put in, even that the people that you want to work with haven't seen. Like, you may be questioning, why would this person want to work with me? Why wouldn't they want to work with you? You're amazing. You're an expert. You're good at what you do. Why are you not qualified enough? Why are you disqualifying yourself? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself in order to move to the next part of your journey and leave the baggage behind you. But once again, like these are all things that come up for all of us. These are all real, these are all valid, but we have to question them in order to get to the next step in our journey, to the next place in our journey. So the next exercise is literally just doing that. We're going to challenge your thoughts. Using the same method that you used before, if you had a pen and paper, or if you used your phone or a notepad on your computer, look at each question that you wrote down before, flip it, and challenge it with an opposing question or a fact. Or in your case, Crystal, with your travel one, what are some things that you can put in place to help you kind of meet those goals to get to the places that you want to be? Okay, what did you come up with?
Okay. I don't like being put on the spot. All right. So like I said before, I'm not going to be able to see or do everything before I die. I know this is so morbid, but I changed it to say I'm going to do as much as I can and live my life to the fullest.
Ooh, yes. Make it positive.
Yes. And then I also made another one, kind of like what I was saying before when I was comparing myself to other people in my industry. So like, let's say the statement is, there's no way I'll ever make that much money in my business. I could reframe it and say, how will I make that much money?
Yeah. Yeah. What are some things I can put in place to get to that point that seems impossible?
Yes.
When I was teaching, that first year was rough. I did not have any tools to deal with the imposter syndrome that I was feeling. And there were many times that I wanted to just cancel class just sheerly out of anxiety. But I pushed through and did it anyway. And so by the time I was ready to teach the following year, I could say to myself, I've taught this class before. I know in general how it's going to go. Like the personality of the classroom depends on the students. So that was always different, but I know what work I can put in. I know what I'm bringing to the table. And that helped alleviate some of the anxiety and stress that I was having related to imposter syndrome with that class. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you are able to take away some tools that you will use to help you when you're kind of spiraling. It is common for a lot of people to experience, but it is easier to kind of get yourself out of that spiral when you have the tools that you need to help you do that.
Well, thank you so much. That was amazing. I have to say this was the most interactive webinar that I've done so far. And obviously that's because you're a teacher and you're really great at what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course. I feel like I really learned a lot today, especially about imposter syndrome. You know, I've always heard people talking about it on social media, but I've never actually like took the time to learn what it really is or be told what it really was. So I am definitely grateful for you to explain it to us today. I definitely found it very helpful. And there's there's a lot of mindset shifts that go into avoiding imposter syndrome, and it's always going to be there, but it's how you avoid it or how you overcome it. That's what's going to make all the difference. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. So everybody be sure to follow at Allister VA Services and myself at Crystal Statskey on social media. Thank you all for joining us today. If you are watching the replay on YouTube, please be sure to hit like and subscribe, and be sure to join Monetize Your Passion Society on Facebook to join in on other future webinars. So our next free webinar is happening next week on the 24th at 4 p.m. Eastern with Ashley Kang, who will be joining us to discuss how to leverage your creativity. So this week we really did focus on comparisons and imposter syndromes. So next week we'll be diving into the creative piece of everything that goes into business. So hope to see you there.